The door to the old gym creaked open like a confession I wasn't ready to hear. And there they were. My brother Jax, sweat slicked and fierce, his hands guiding the hips of this stranger in a way that twisted my gut with something sharper than jealousy. "Feel it," Jax murmured, his voice low and urgent, the kind he saved for game-winning plays. But this wasn't about the ball bouncing between them. It was the electricity in the air, thick as summer storm clouds over the Midwest plains. I froze, heart slamming like a rim rattler, realizing in that split second that the secret he'd buried deeper than our family's faded glory was spilling out right there on the scuffed hardwood. That moment hit me like a fast break I never saw coming. Jax, my big brother, the golden boy who dragged our sorry asses out of small-town obscurity with his buzzer beaters and all-state nods, was tangled up in something raw and real that had nothing to do with the scoreboard. And me? I was just Eli, the kid brother tagging along, nursing my own half-formed dreams on the bench, too chicken shit to admit I felt the same pull he'd been hiding all these years. The new guy, Ryder, I learned later, turned his head just enough, his dark eyes catching mine across the dim-lit court, and in that gaze, I saw my whole world tilt on its axis. We grew up in Elmwood, Kansas, the kind of flyover town where cornfields stretch like God's afterthought and Friday nights mean high school, hoops under floodlights that buzz like angry hornets. Dad was a ghost after the mill shut down, chasing odd jobs in Wichita, leaving Mom to sling coffee at the diner and us boys to fend for the family legacy. Jax was the hero from the jump, captain at Elmwood High, scholarship to KU, the works. Me? I was the water boy turned bench warmer, good enough to scrimmage but never the starter. We'd shoot hoops in the driveway till the streetlights flickered on, him schooling me on crossovers and fadeaways, but it was always more than that. "It's about heart, Eli," he'd say, clapping my shoulder a beat too long. "The game's in your chest, not your hands." By senior year, Jax was already a legend, but the scouts were sniffing around harder, whispering about the pros if he kept his grades up and his head down. That's when Ryder blew into town like a rogue wind from the Rockies. Transferred from some Denver prep school after his folks split, he showed up at tryouts with a duffel bag and a chip on his shoulder bigger than the state fair's prize hog. Lean as a whip, with ink-black hair that fell over eyes like polished obsidian, he dismantled our varsity squad in pickup like it was child's play. Jax clocked him first, of course, called him out after a step-back three that kissed the net like a lover. "Who's the hot shot?" Jax asked Coach Harlan, but his grin said he already knew, trouble, the good kind. I remember the locker room buzz after that first practice. "Kid's got moves?" Tommy Greer grunted, toweling off. "But can he handle pressure?" Jax just laughed. That easy rumble that made everyone lean in. "We'll see." Me, I hung back, stuffing my gear into the locker, stealing glances at Ryder as he laced up his kicks. There was something about him, wild, unpolished, like he carried the mountains in his stride. That night, over greasy burgers at Big AL's, Jax wouldn't shut up about him. "Eli, you should have seen that hesitation dribble. Man's a poet with the rock." I nodded, ketchup dripping on my chin, wondering why my stomach flipped like I'd chugged a bad energy drink. It started innocent enough. Jax volunteered to run extra drills with Ryder after school. The old community gym, our sanctuary from Mom's endless shifts and the town's prying eyes. I'd tag along sometimes, fetching Gatorade or spotting free throws, content to watch from the bleachers while they battled one-on-one till the sun dipped low through the high windows. Jax was in his element, shirtless in those cut-off tees, muscles coiling like springs as he drove baseline, Ryder matching him fake for fake. "Pick and roll like this," Jax would demo, his body brushing Ryder's in the pivot, a spark I told myself was just competitive fire. But that afternoon, 2 weeks before regionals, I cut out early from chem lab, backpack slung over one shoulder, dreaming of Mom's meatloaf waiting at home. The gym was supposed to be empty. Jax had texted about grabbing tacos after, but curiosity pulled me like a loose thread. I slipped through the side door, the echo of sneakers on wood hitting me first, then the grunts, the sharp slap of ball on palm. And there they were, not 10 feet from the baseline, frozen in a drill that looked more like a dance. Jax had Ryder backed into the corner, his forearm light on the guy's chest, demonstrating a pump fake. But it wasn't the move that stopped my breath. It was the way Ryder leaned in, not resisting, his hand lingering on Jax's wrist. Yeah, like that, Ryder breathed, and Jax's nod was slow, intimate, his eyes locking in a way that screamed volumes. The ball rolled forgotten to the wall, and for a heartbeat, they were statues. Two boys on the cusp, the air humming with unspoken want. I coughed, loud and fake, and they sprang apart like I'd fired a starter gun. Jax's face flushed under the sweat, but his smile was quicksilver. Eli, didn't hear you sneak in. Squirt. Ryder straightened, wiping his brow, those obsidian eyes flicking over me with a mix of wariness and something warmer, like he'd been caught but didn't regret it. Your brother talks a big game about you, he said, voice smooth as river stone. Says you're the real shooter in the family. I mumbled something about needing a ride, heat crawling up my neck, and bolted for the bleachers to grab my forgotten water bottle. Inside, my mind was a cyclone. Jax and Ryder? My brother, the straight arrow captain, tangled in. What? Flirtation? More? We'd never talked about that stuff, not really. Elmwood was Bible belt buckle, where "that's gay" was the punchline to every fumbled pass, and coming out would have been like painting a target on your back. But seeing it raw like that, it cracked something open in me, a hunger I'd buried under layers of denial and easy crushes on cheer squad girls who never looked twice. Dinner that night was a minefield. Mom chattered about her tips, oblivious, while Jax shoveled spaghetti like nothing happened, tossing me knowing glances across the Formica table. Pass the garlic bread, Eli? Or are you saving it for your next big shot? I kicked him under the table hard, and he just winked. Ryder's name came up, coach pairing them for the starting lineup, and Jax lit up, describing a behind-the-back pass that had the whole JV squad whooping. But his enthusiasm felt loaded now, every word a code I was scrambling to decipher. Later, in our shared room, the attic conversion with posters of Jordan and Durant peeling at the edges, Jax cornered me as I pretended to scroll TikTok. You good, little man? Looked like you saw a ghost back there. He flopped on his bed, springs creaking, still in his practice shorts. I shrugged, staring at the ceiling fan whirring lazy circles. Just surprised, that's all. You two were. Intense. He went still, then chuckled soft. Intense is the game, Eli. Ryder's got potential, but he needs polishing. Like you did, back when you couldn't hit water from a boat. But his eyes searched mine, probing, and I saw the vulnerability flicker, the fear of the other shoe dropping. Hey, he added quieter. If it's about the touchy-feely stuff, it's just hoops. Builds trust. You know that. I wanted to believe him, wanted to laugh it off like a bad call from the ref. But the image stuck. Jax's hand on Ryder's hip, steadying, claiming. Yeah, I muttered. Trust. Sleep came fitful, dreams of courts that stretched infinite, balls that turned to hearts midair. The next week blurred into a rhythm of practices and pop quizzes, but the undercurrent pulled stronger. Ryder slotted into our circle seamless, lunches at the picnic tables behind the AG building, where he'd spin yarns about Denver snowboarding trips and we'd trade jabs over who had the better vertical. He was easy with everyone, but with Jax it was different. Stolen looks during film sessions, a brush of knuckles passing the AUX cord in the team van. Me? I orbited them, drawn in despite myself, cracking jokes to mask the way my pulse jumped when Ryder slung an arm around my shoulders after a solid three-pointer in scrimmage. Not bad, water boy, he'd tease, his breath warm on my ear. Keep that up, and Jax might have competition. Jax noticed, of course. One evening, post-drill in the gym, as the others filed out to the parking lot, he pulled me aside by the water fountain. You and Ryder hitting it off? His tone was light, but his jaw ticked. I splashed cold water on my face, buying time. He's cool. Why? Jealous of my mad skills. Jax snorted, but didn't laugh. Just, be careful, Eli. Guys got layers. Not all of 'em pretty. It was the first crack in the facade, the warning laced with possession that made my hackles rise. What layers? The divorce scars he wore like a badge? Or something darker? That night, I DM'd Ryder on the down low, casual as hell. Yo, what's Jax's deal with the secret techniques? Dude's cryptic AF. His reply pinged back fast. Haha, your bro's a vault. But yeah, he's got moves that'll change your game. Meet us tomorrow? 6 a.m. sharp. I showed, bleary-eyed and buzzing on black coffee. The dawn sky streaked pink over the flatlands. They were already at it. Jax barking form corrections, Ryder nodding fierce, the ball a blur between them. I joined the fray, tentative at first, but Jax waved me in. Come on, Eli. Show this city boy how we do it Kansas style. We ran threes, sweat bonding us in the chill air, and for stretches, it felt pure. Brotherhood amplified, the court's lines blurring into possibility. Then came the secret technique. We'd wrapped the last possession, chests heaving, when Jax held up a hand. All right, fellas. Time for the real lesson. He grabbed a fresh rock from the rack, eyes gleaming. This ain't in the playbook. Call it the heartbreak pivot. Ryder smirked, leaning against the wall, but I could see the curiosity hook him. Jax positioned us at the top of the key, him in the middle. Life's like this, he said, voice dropping to that coach timbre. You drive hard, commit to the lane, but bam, defender collapses. You pivot, yeah? But the secret? You don't just fake left. You lean in, feel the contact, use it. Turn defense into your drive. He demonstrated slow-mo, body-checking me gentle, his shoulder against mine, hip to hip. See? It's trust. You gotta let him push, then explode. Ryder took his turn, and watching them, bodies aligned, breath sinking. It hit me again. This was metaphor, wrapped in metaphor, for the push-pull of want. My turn, and Jax's hands found my waist, adjusting. Breathe through it, Eli. That's the key. His touch lingered, fatherly almost, but electric. Ryder watched, arms crossed, a shadow crossing his face. We drilled it till muscles screamed, laughing off the fumbles, but the air thickened with subtext. As we cooled down, towels around necks, Jax clapped our backs. That's the edge, boys. No one's beating us now. Ryder shot me a look, half challenge, half invitation, and mumbled about grabbing shakes. I nodded, but inside, gears ground. What was this pivot really for? Dodging feelings or diving into them? Word spread fast in Elmwood, rumors like prairie fire. By midweek, whispers slithered through the halls. Jax and the new kid, too close on the court, off it. Tommy Greer cornered me in the john, smirking. Your bro batting for the other team now? Saw him leaving the gym late, all buddy-buddy. I shoved him hard. Mind your own, asshole. But doubt festered. Mom picked up on my mood, her diner wisdom cutting sharp over breakfast. Something eating you, baby? Jack's okay. I shrugged it off, just ball stress. But her eyes lingered, wise to the silences we'd all mastered. The betrayal dropped like a blindside screen. It was Friday, pre-game ritual at our house. Pasta bake, war stories from Dad's old Polaroids. Ryder was there, invited casual, fitting in with his quick wit and bottomless appetite. Laughter flowed easy. Jax recounting a freshman year airball that dented the backboard, until my phone buzzed. A text from an unknown. Grainy pic of Jax and Ryder, arms linked, walking out of the diner after hours. Timestamp. Last Tuesday. Tell your bro to keep it off the court. Or else. My fork clattered. Jax froze mid-bite. What? I shoved the phone across, face burning. Ryder's color drained, fork hovering. Mom excused herself to the kitchen, plates clinking cover. Jax snatched it, thumb swiping furious. Shit, Tommy? That prick. But Ryder's eyes darted. Guilt? Fear? We were just talking, he said, voice tight. After practice. Nothing. Save it. I snapped, chair scraping back. The room spun, betrayal a bitter taste. Jax, my rock, lying by omission. Ryder, the wild card, playing both sides. I stormed out to the backyard. The swing set from our kid days creaking in the wind. Minutes later, Jax followed, hands up like surrender. Eli, listen. It's not what you think. I whirled. Then what is it? 'Cause from where I'm standing, you're sneaking around with the new guy, and now the team's got dirt. Regionals tomorrow, and this? We're done. He deflated, shoulders slumping. Ryder. He's like me. Queer as hell in a town that'd crucify us. We've been talking, yeah. Figuring shit out. No one's getting hurt. His voice cracked on the last, and there it was, the raw edge, the brother I'd idolized, now just a scared kid under the jersey. I didn't tell you 'cause I didn't want to drag you in, but walking in on us? That's on me. The technique? Is code for this. Pivoting through the hits. Ryder hovered at the door, silent witness. I glared, but the anger ebbed, leaving ache. You should have trusted me, I whispered. Jax nodded, pulling me into a hug that smelled of Old Spice and regret. I do now. The game that night was apocalypse. Regionals at the Topeka Dome, stands packed with scouts and small-town faithful. We started hot. Jax feeding Ryder for a poster dunk that shook the rafters. But Tommy's crew stewed, whispers turning to shoves in the huddle. Fairy ball, one muttered, and Jax's fist clenched. I subbed in midway, heart pounding, the court a blur of jerseys and screams. Climax hit third quarter. Ryder drove, drawing the double, kicked to me wide open. But Tommy accidentally screened dirty, elbow to my ribs, dropping me gasping. The whistle blew technical, but the damage stuck. Bruised, breathless, seeing red. Jax hauled me up, eyes blazing. You good? I nodded, but inside, fury boiled. Ryder's concern from the bench twisted the knife. Was it real or pity? Halftime locker room was powder keg. Coach ripped into us. Play like men, not boys. But Jax stood, voice steel. Enough. We're family out there. Anyone got beef, say it now. Silence, then Tommy sneered. We know you're family, Cap. That pick? Whole school's buzzing. The room erupted, shouts, accusations, but Ryder rose, chin high. Yeah, it's true. Jax and me? We're together. Deal with it or sit. Stunned hush. Jax stepped forward, hand finding Ryder's. He's right. And if that's a problem, bench me. But we're winning this for us, not your bullshit. Eyes on me, waiting. I swallowed, the pivot clicking. Lean in, explode. For us? I echoed, and the team fractured then reformed. Some nods grudging, others fierce. Fourth quarter was legend. Jax orchestrated like a maestro, Ryder slashing fearless. Me hitting threes from the parking lot. Down by 2 with 10 ticks, ball in my hands. First time under this pressure. Defender sagged. I pump faked, felt the contact, pivoted heartbreak style. Swish. Game winner. The dome erupted, bodies piling in a heap of sweat and triumph. Jax's arms around us both, unashamed. Aftermath washed gentle. Scouts swarmed Jax, nil deals, blue chip buzz. But he waved him off till morning, choosing us first. Mom cried at the diner that night, hugging Ryder like long-lost kin. Proud of my boys, she whispered. And for once, no secrets shadowed her smile. Me and Ryder? That grew slow, organic. Walks along the creek after dark, talking dreams. His art sketches hidden in notebooks, my half-baked song lyrics on guitar. First kiss under the harvest moon, tentative, tasting like cherry Slurpee and forever. Jax walked me through it later, grinning. Told you, heart's the game. Betrayal's scar faded to lesson. Trust isn't given. It's pivoted into. We left Elmwood that summer. Jax to Lawrence, Ryder and me road-tripping to auditions and open mics, chasing horizons. Last I saw Jax, he was packing boxes, that old gym ball tucked in his duffel. Secrets out, little man. Now go make your own. And I did. Hearts break, but they bounce back stronger. That's the technique. Life post-regionals felt like waking from a fever dream, the kind where you're running full tilt but the finish line keeps receding. Elmwood buzzed for weeks. Local paper ran a spread. Miracle on hardwood. Hawks soar past odds. With a sidebar on the bromance that saved the day. Jax ate it up, signing autographs at the IGA. But his eyes always scanned for the shadows. The sidelong glares from folks who'd rather whisper than cheer. Me? I floated, high on the swish that etched my name in the annals, but grounded by the weight of what we'd cracked open. Ryder crashed at our place most nights now, Mom converting the couch into a nest of quilts and no questions asked. Boy needs a home base, she'd say, sliding extra bacon onto his plate. We'd hole up in the attic after. The three of us sprawled on sleeping bags, dissecting the game like generals over a map. That pivot you pulled? Poetry, Ryder'd say, nudging my knee with his toe. His laugh a low rumble that settled something restless in me. Jax would roll his eyes, tossing a bald sock. Flirt later, rookies. Eli's still green. But green the first wasn't, not anymore. That kiss by the creek had unlocked a floodgate. Nights replaying the press of his lips, soft and sure, tasting of creek water and possibility. We'd sneak out to the old mill ruins, fireflies winking like conspirators, hands linking tentative till fingers laced permanent. Scared? He'd ask once, thumb tracing my knuckle. I shook my head, honest. Nah, just knew. He smiled, that crooked tilt that hit like sunlight. Good, we'll figure the rest. Jax played wingman subtle as a screenplay. Take the truck tonight. He'd toss keys my way, feigning a study group, but his coaching extended deeper, sitting shotgun one dusk, windows down to the cicada chorus. Ryder's solid, Eli, but love's a full court press. Gotta communicate or you turn it over. I gripped the wheel tighter, gravel crunching. You sound like Dad. He winced, Dad's absence is a ghost we rarely named, but pressed on. Yeah, well, learned the hard way. Back in sophomore year there was this guy on the JV. Scout's son. We got close, too close. One slip and boom, rumors tanked my recruiting. Swore off after. The confession hung heavy, a brick in the wall we'd built around him. Why hide it? I asked, voice small. Jax stared out at the silos silhouetted black. Survival, little man. Mom's scraping by, you got college dreams. Couldn't risk the fallout. Regret laced his words, but so did resolve. Till Ryder. He saw through the bullshit. Made me want to fight for it. We pulled over at the water tower, the town's rusty sentinel spray-painted with class of 25 hearts. Jax turned, serious. Your turn now. Don't bottle it like I did. If it's real, own it. He clapped my shoulder, that familiar weight, and for the first time I hugged back fierce. No brotherly pat, but the kind that says I see you. Driving home, radio crooning some Springsteen ballad about highways and heartache, I felt the pivot settle. Family wasn't blood alone, but the choices we leaned into. School wound down in a haze of finals and farewell parties. The air thick with graduation fever. Ryder and I stole moments in the band room after hours, him sketching my profile on sheet music while I strummed half chords to songs I was too shy to sing. You're gonna kill it in Denver, I'd say, meaning the art program he eyed, but really the life beyond cornrows. He'd grin, graphite-smudged fingers brushing mine. Only if you come visit. Road trip, you and me, Route 70 to the stars. Dreams like that tasted sweet, but Elmwood's grip clung stubborn. Vines of expectation and escape. The conflict reignited subtle, a spark in dry tinder. Tommy Greer, bitter as week-old coffee, couldn't let the wind die. He cornered Ryder in the parking lot one lunch, crew flanking like hyenas. Think you're hot shit now, city boy? Stealing our captain's thunder, and more. Ryder held ground, backpack slung casual. Jealousy's a bad look, Greer. Focus on your jump shot. But Tommy's laugh was ugly. Oh, we know your shots. Whole team's seen the pics. Freaks. Word looped back via the grapevine. Jax heard from coach, who heard from the AD. We confronted it poolside at the rec center that evening. Chlorine sharp in the humid air. Jax paced the deck, towel snap taut. That bastard's stirring shit again. Says he's got more evidence. Voice notes. Some crap. Ryder dove into the deep end, surfacing with a gasp. Let him. We're solid. But his eyes betrayed the fracture. Fear of the road not taken. The Denver fresh start tainted by scandal. I treaded water beside him, legs brushing accidental. We fight back. Jax shook his head, diving in clean. Underwater, the world muffled. We raced laps till lungs burned, emerging spent and synced. Toweling off, Jax laid it out. No, we rise above. Regionals proved it, heart over hate. But doubt wormed in me, gnawing. What if Tommy leaked to the scouts? Jax's KU dreams, poof. Our family, already frayed, splintered further. That night, betrayal's second act unfolded. I woke to murmurs downstairs. Clock glowing 2:17 a.m. Creeping the stairs, I caught Jax on the couch. Phone to ear, voice hushed urgent. Ryder, chill. It's not like that. Pause then, I know, but Eli. He's not ready. We can't tell him yet. My blood iced. Tell me what? I burst in, light flipping harsh. Tell me what? Jax startled, phone dropping. Ryder's voice tinny from speaker. Eli? Shit. Jax fumbled. It's nothing scout stuff. But the lie hung flimsy. I grabbed the phone. Ryder? What's going on? His sigh crackled. Jax wanted to protect you. Tommy's got a video, not us, but me. From Denver. Old shit ex-drama. Threatening to drop it unless Jax benches me for states. The room tilted. Jax protecting me? Or controlling the narrative? You knew. I accused, voice cracking. And you kept it from me? After everything. Jax stood, hands out. Eli, you're the glue here. Didn't want you carrying this. But it stung, betrayal not from foes, but kin. Ryder's plea cut through. Meet me? Park. Now. I bolted, truck keys jangling, leaving Jax in the lamplight's glow. The park was moon-silvered, swings swaying ghost-like. Ryder waited on the merry-go-round, silhouette sharp. He meant well, he started, but I cut him. That's the problem. Always deciding for me. We circled slow. Ferris wheel creak underscoring the ache. The video is bad. Fight with my ex, yelling slurs I regret. If it drops, I'm toxic. Jax thought spacing it out. Talk to Tommy first. Anger ebbed to empathy, the pivot again. And you? Dragging this alone. He stopped, facing me, eyes vulnerable pools. Till you. You make me want to fight clean. His hand found mine. Pull gentle and I leaned. Lips meeting soft. The kiss a balm on wounds fresh. We're in this. I murmured against him. All of us. Dawn broke as we drove back. Resolve hardening. Jax waited on the porch. Coffee steaming. Face etched contrite. I fucked up. Simple as that. We talked till birds chorused. No more vaults, just open court. Mom joined at sunrise. Pancakes flipping. Her nod sealing the pact. Family first, secret second. States loomed. A colossus in Wichita's arena. Training amped brutal. Dawn runs through dew-kissed fields. Weight room grunts echoing our grit. Ryder and I wove tighter. Notes slipped in lockers. Pivot with me? R. Stolen grazes in the van. Jax watched approving, his own nights with Ryder reclaiming space. Late drives to the quarry, stargazing confessions. But climax brewed in the shadows. Tommy struck pre-semis. Anonymous email to the team list. Link to the video. Captioned, know your teammates. Locker room imploded. Gasps. Deletes frantic. But damage viral. Coach hauled Tommy in. Suspension hammer dropping. But the poison seeped. Doubts and huddles. Fans' murmurs turning cold. Game night. Air electric thick, we laced up silent. Jax pulled us close pre-tip. This? It's our pivot. Lean in. Tip off and we exploded. Ryder's drives poetry. My threes fire, Jax's vision glue. Halftime tied. Third, a bloodbath of elbows and calls. Fourth, down 8 with 5 left. Tommy's empty seat a specter. Then it, Ryder stole outlet to Jax, who swung to me wide open, heart thundering. Defender closed, but I felt it, the contact, the push. Pivoted, leaned, released. Nothing but net. Crowd roar swallowed us, momentum flipping. Final buzzer. 82-79, Hawks advance. Post-game, press swarmed, but Jax deferred. Team effort. Love wins. Simple, profound. Ryder and I slipped out to the bus lot, foreheads touching. We did it. His whisper. Yeah, mine. And more. Summer unfurled golden, graduation caps tossed. Jax's Jayhawk send-off barbecue with ribs and ribs. Jokes. Ryder's Denver acceptance letter arrived. Mine to community college nearby for music edition road trips, he promised, packing his sketchpad. Last night in Elmwood, we three on the gym roof, town lights twinkling distant. Jax raised a stolen beer. To secrets showed. We clinked, laughter-free. Betrayal's echo? Faint now, lesson etched. Love's the ultimate technique, raw, relentless, redemptive. The drive to Lawrence felt like crossing state lines into another life, the Kansas flatlands giving way to rolling hills that whispered of bigger skies. Jax rode shotgun, duffel at his feet stuffed with jerseys and that lucky ball. Ryder and me trailing in the truck bed for the first leg, wind whipping our hair till it tangled wild. Mom waved from the porch till we crested the hill, her handkerchief a white flag of release. Call every day, she'd hollered, voice thick, but we all knew. This was the pivot point, the explosion after the lean. KU campus hit like a culture shock. Sprawling brick quads, co-eds in sorority tees. The air humming with ambition that made Elmwood feel like a diorama. Jax's dorm was a broom closet of cinder block and posters. His roommate a lanky econ major from Topeka who eyed our trio curious. Family? He asked, extending a fist. Jax bumped it. Brothers, he said, and the word landed heavy, inclusive. We crashed that first night, pizza boxes carpeting the floor, swapping stories till dawn. Ryder sketched the scene. Us sprawled, faces lit by phone glow, while I strummed an acoustic I'd stashed in the truck, chords to a half-written tune about heartbreak hoops. That's gold, Eli, Jax murmured, eyes distant. Record it someday. Ryder's gaze met mine over the strings, warm promise. We will. But college cracked open cracks we hadn't mapped. Jax dove into fall ball, practices swallowing days, nights blurring into study halls and frat mixers he attended solo. Got a network, he'd text, but the subtext screamed isolation. The closet door ajar but not flung wide. Ryder and I settled into a rhythm back home. Him commuting to Denver weekends for portfolio reviews. Me gigging at the diner with covers that drew tips and timid applause. Our calls were lifelines. Late-night vents about homesick pangs. His latest charcoal of a cityscape skyline. My lyrics sharpening on the edge of longing. Conflict simmered low at first. A text from Jax one crisp October eve. Scouts asking questions. Keep it low-key. My thumbs hovered. Ache blooming. Low-key? After states? Ryder, patching a flat on I-70, called it straight. He's scared, Eli. Big pond, bigger sharks. We drove up that weekend. Leaves turning fire orange. The campus alive with homecoming floats and face paint. Jax met us at the Union, jersey fresh from pickup, but his hug was quick, eyes scanning the crowd. Dinner at a dive-off Massachusetts street. Burgers bleeding juice, jukebox crooning Garth. Turned tense when a teammate slid into the booth, beer in hand. Cap, who's the roadies? Slurred casual, but the once-over on Ryder lingered. Jax stiffened. Family. Eli's my blood. Ryder's. Crew. The word landed like a fumble, and Ryder's fork paused mid-air. I covered, cracking a joke about Jax's legendary free-throw form, but the booth cooled fast, teammate peeling off with a nod that screamed judgment. Walking back under sodium lamps, Jax exploded quiet. Shit, did that sound bad? Ryder shrugged, hands in pockets. Could have been boyfriend. But hey, crew works. Sarcasm barbed, and Jax wheeled. It's not that simple. You think I want this? Hiding like some JV punk. Ryder fired back. Then don't. Own it like states. I stepped between, palms up. Guys. But the fracture split. Ryder stormed to the truck, me trailing apologies. Jax called after. He's right. I'm sorry. That night in a motel off campus. Jax's dorm too cramped. We lay three to a bed, silence thick as fog. Ryder's back to me, rigid. Jax staring ceilingward. I whispered to both. We're the technique, remember? Pivot together. Sleep came fractured. Dreams of courts collapsing into voids. November brought snow, first flurries dusting the Flint Hills like powdered sugar on regret. Jax's texts thinned, crushing drills. Midterms killer. but the subtext screamed distance. Ryder sensed it, his Denver trips stretching to weeks, voice on calls edged with static. Your brother's pulling away, protecting us? Or himself? I drove to KU unannounced one gray afternoon, wipers slapping rhythm, hard a drum solo. Found him in the weight room, bench pressing plates like penance, sweat pooling. Eli, he racked the bar, surprise softening to guilt. We grabbed coffee at the Wheat, steam rising like confessions. It's the pressure, he admitted, stirring black. Coaches love the wins, but off-court? One wrong vibe and poof, starting spot gone. Story spilled. A teammate's crude joke about teaming up wrong. Whispers in the showers. Feels like Elmwood 2.0. Bigger stage, same script. I leaned in, echoing his old wisdom. Then rewrite it. With us. He nodded, but eyes shadowed. Trying. There's this guy, teammate openly gay. Mentored me some. Says wait till sophomore year, build cred. Betrayal's echo twinged. Not outright lie, but omission again. Choosing silence over solidarity. Back home, Ryder waited with takeout pho from the new spot downtown. Broth steaming aromatic. How's golden boy? Casual, but his sketchpad lay open to a half-formed portrait of Jax. Lines angry. We ate cross-legged on my floor, vinyl spinning Coulter Wall's gravel twang. Struggling, I said, truthful. Wants to come out, but Ryder's chopsticks stilled. But cowards wait. Harsh but fair. We shifted to us, his acceptance to CU's fine arts, my community college deferral to chase gigs in KC. Run away with me? He half-joked, but eyes earnest. That led to our first real fight, snow piling outside like unspoken words. Run? From what? Family. I shot back. He paced, boots tracking slush. From this half-life, Jax hides, you defend. I'm tired of orbiting. The door slam echoed, his truck roaring off into wideout. I sat frozen, phone silent, the pivot failing. Leaned too far, no explosion. Hours ticked, worry gnawing. Texted Jax. Ryder bailed. Need backup. His reply, on way. He arrived at midnight, chains rattling, pulling me into the truck for a drive through blanketed fields. Talk, he commanded, wipers clearing his view. I spilled the fight, the fear of losing ground. Jax listened. Then, he's right to push. I haven't been fair. Pause. Then, that mentor? We kissed once. Drunk, stupid. Nothing more, but it scared me straight back in. The confession landed like a screen, protective but bruising. Why now? He shrugged, headlights cutting dark. 'Cause you're both my world. Can't lose that. We found Ryder at the creek, truck idling, him staring water's frozen lace. Jax approached first. My bad, man. Full court from here. Ryder nodded, slow thaw. I joined, arms linking, the three of us a chain against the cold. Reconciliation brewed slow, a stew of apologies and action. Jax came out to his roommate next call. Got a boyfriend back home. Voice steady, the line crackling with relief. Ryder and I mended with a weekend in KC, jazz clubs and barbecue. My guitar busking on the plaza for bucks and bravery. This is us, he said, harmonica wailing back up to my chords. No orbits. Climax crested at winter break. Jax home for the holidays. Mom's tree twinkled kitsch, lights casting halos on heirloom ornaments. Dad's old whistle, our first place plaque. Dinner was feast. Turkey dry but love-drenched, stories looping like tinsel. But undercurrents pulled. Tommy's family at church, stares sharp. A neighbor's blessing laced pity. New Year's Eve, we escaped to the gym. Midnight countdown on a boombox. Confetti from torn score sheets. Jax popped a bottle of sparkling cider. Foam fizzing. Toasts, he declared. Ryder. To Denver dreams. Me. To songs unsung. Jax last. To us out and proud. We clinked, then danced. Awkward shuffles to Prince, bodies close in the echo. But betrayal's shadow loomed final. A call from Coach Harlan, voice grave. Jax scouts pulled back. Leak from your old team, Tommy's dad. board member. Distraction, risk. Silence swallowed the line. Jax hung up, face ashen. Gone. All of it. The gym spun, our bubble burst. Ryder cursed, fists clenched. I paced, rage boiling. Fight it! But Jax sagged against the wall, ball rolling forgotten. Maybe they're right. Too much noise. The defeat cut deepest. Not the dream lost, but the surrender. We rallied, fierce. Ryder, screw him. Community college here, ball and us. Me, write our story. Make him see. Jax resisted, then cracked. Tears hot, rare. I wanted it for us. Proof we could have it all. Hugs piled. A knot unbreakable. We do, Ryder whispered. Right here. Spring thawed the snow, but not the chill. Jax transferred local, coaching JV while auditing classes, his fire banked but burning. Ryder and I road-tripped spring break. 66 to the coast, ocean salt scouring clean. Pivot worked, he said, waves crashing. Exploded us forward. Betrayal? Dehumanized, stripped illusions. Love's not spotlight. It's the quiet glow in dive bars. The hand in yours through storms. Jax found it coaching, kids looking up, no closets needed. We three, bonds forged, unbreakable, techniques shared. Lean in, always. Summer 26 baked Elmwood into a skillet, heat waves shimmying off asphalt like bad decisions. Jax's JV gig kicked off with camp, whistles shrill in the dawn, kids tumbling like puppies over drills. He thrived there. Patience honed. That captain's bark softened to encouragement. Feel the bounce, he'd echo, hands guiding without the old intensity. Eyes brighter sans the pro glare. Ryder crashed practices, sketching sidelines. His Denver deferral bought time for a mural gig at the community center. Walls blooming vibrant with hoops heroes, subtle rainbows woven in the arcs. Me? I gigged harder. Open mics at the Legion Hall drawing crowds thirsty for escape. Songs sharpened, pivot heart. A ballad of leans and losses, strummed raw with Ryder's harmonica haunting. Tips swelled, enough for a beat-up amp, and whispers of a demo caught ear. Local label scout from KC sniffing around. Kids got soul, he grunted post-set, card slick. Life tilted promising, the pivot paying dividends. But romance, that tricky baseline drive, demanded its due. Ryder and I deepened. Lazy afternoons in the creek shallows. Water cool on skin. Conversations meandering like minnows. Miss Denver sometimes, he'd admit, fingers tracing tattoos I'd yet to ink. The pulse, the anonymity. I'd pull him closer, pebbles shifting under us. We've got pulse here. And me. Laughter bubbled, but undercurrent tugged. His acceptance led her a siren. My roots tangled deep. Jax clocked it first, over ice cream at the parlor, cones dripping vanilla thaw. You too solid? Casual but probing. Ryder licked slow, evading. Solid as state trophies. Jax eyed me. Good. 'Cause life's tossing curves now. He meant his own. A date with a barista from the college lit scene, guy named Theo, openly gay, theater kid with a laugh like thunder. Testing waters, Jax said. But excitement lit him. A spark post-drought. We double-dated that weekend. Awkward charm at a Wichita indie flick. Queer rom-com that had us snorting at the tropes, then silent in the feels. Post-credits, over diner fries, Theo grilled Jax gentle. So, Hoops royalty turned coach? Spill the dirt. Jax obliged. Tales of buzzer beaters and betrayals. Theo's hand on his knee steady anchor. Ryder and I mirrored across the booth. His foot hooking mine under table. A private win. But conflict coiled. Serpent in the garden. Tommy Greer resurfaced. Home from JUCO on break. Slinging hay at his dad's farm. Grudge festering. Spotted us at the county fair. Midway lights garish. His leer cutting through cotton candy haze. Still playing house, freaks? Slurred on cheap beer, buddies snickering. Jack stepped forward, calm steel. Walk away, Tommy. Water under. But Tommy shoved, cup spilling sticky. Water? Nah. This town's drowning in your shit. Fists clenched, but Ryder pulled Jack's back. Not worth it. Me? I snapped a pic discreet evidence insurance. We peeled out, Ferris wheel whirling mocking, adrenaline sour. Home, Jax paced the porch. Should have decked him. Theo texted support, but Ryder's jaw set hard. Or called it out public. Own the narrative. The push-pull escalated next week. Jax's camp rapping with a tourney. Kids shown. Tiny pivots aped big. But post-game barbecue turned tense. Tommy's crew crashed. Uninvited. Coolers thumping. Whispers flew. Then shouts. Coach Ferry teaching tricks? A dad yanked his son. Glares universal. Jax froze. Grill spatula limp. Then rallied. This camp's about ball and heart. Anyone disagree? Doors that way. Most stayed. Murmurs dying. But the seed planted. Complaints to the rec board. Jax's job teetering. Betrayal 2.0. He muttered that night. Theo's arm around him on our couch. Ryder exploded. Fight. Sue the pricks. But Jax sagged. Kids first. Can't risk their safe space. Fracture lines spidered. Ryder's fire clashing Jax's caution. Me mediating frayed. My own storm brewed parallel. The KC scout called. Demo sounds fire. Kid. Gig in the city. Bring your boy. Ryder. But his mural deadline loomed. Denver pulling planetary. Go without, he suggested, but eyes pleaded stay. I hedged. Guitar case heavy. It's our sound. Tension simmered. Nights short on words. Long on silences. Climax detonated mid-July. Heat index hellfire. Jax's board hearing public. Town hall stuffy with fans whirring futile. We packed the back. Me, Ryder. Mom in her diner apron. Theo fidgeting scripts. Tommy's dad testified first. Bluster about values misalignment. Video clips flickering damning old grainy, but twisted. Jax rose steady. I've coached these boys to wins and character. Love's no misalignment. It's the play. Applause sporadic, but the vote hung 5-4 against him. Gavel fell, job gone. Jax walked out stone-faced, us trailing to the truck. Knew it, he said, voice hollow. Ryder raged. Bullshit. Appeal. But Jax turned, eyes storm-dark. No. Time for bigger. He looked to Theo. West Coast? Your theater scene. Betrayal gutted me. Not Jax's exit, but the rip it tore. Ryder felt it too, pulling over on route home, truck shuddering. He's bailing. On us on this. Tears hot. Rare for him. I held him creekside again, water mocking flow. Pivoting, I whispered. Hurts. But forward. We mended fractured. Three-way call that night. Jax's voice crackling from a motel with Theo. Not bailing. Expanding. You two. Keep the home fires. Ryder softened. Miss you already. Plans spun. Jax to LA auditions with Theo. Coaching clinics on the side. Ryder rapping mural, Denver fall. Me to KC demo drop. August farewell scorched. Barbecue at the creek. Grills smoking brisket. Guitars wailing. Jax hugged fierce. Secret technique's yours now. Teach it. Ryder and I drove him to the airport dawn. Hugs lingering. Plane swallowing him skyward. Alone the void echoed. Ryder and I dove deeper. Nights composing his harmonies to my hooks. Love a backbeat steady. We're the explosion, he'd say. Lips on collarbone chaste but charged. Gig night in KC. Stage lights blinding. Crowd a sea. Our set electric. Pivot heart peaking cheers. Scout signed us post-encore. Deal. Album spring. But Ryder's call came next morn. Denver's pushing. Full ride if I start now. Heart drop. Go. I choked. I'll visit. He nodded. Tears unshed. Pivot together? Fall leaves turned, him gone. Miles stretching like doubts. Letters flew. Sketches of mountains, lyrics of plains. Jax thrived, voice gigs, a web series coaching queers in sports, texts buzzing proud. You, holding court solo. Winter whispered reunion. Ryder home for holidays. Denver dusted on his boots. Airport embrace crushed breath. Love rekindled fierce. Missed this, he breathed. We drove silent, hands clasped. the technique alive. Betrayal's lessons, love's lean. Humanity bloomed in the small. Mom's pride at our vinyl stack. Jax's holiday video call beaming from a soundstage. No grand tragedy, but growth's quiet drama. From hidden plays to open scores. Winter gripped elmwood and iron. Winds howling off the plains like banshees mourning the old ways. Ryder's visit thawed the frost. 2 weeks of tangled sheets and tangled talks. His Denver tales painting pictures of urban pulse. Coffee shops alive with poets. Studio nights birthing abstracts that bled emotion. We'd bundle against the cold. Scarves shared. Strolling main streets twinkling garlands. Fingers laced defiant. This feels permanent. He'd murmur, breath fogging glass windows. I'd squeeze. It is. But permanence crack under pressure. And ours did, subtle as a hairline fracture. Jax's LA glow dimmed in calls. Auditions drying. Theo's theater troupe touring without him. Leaving Jax to odd jobs coaching rich kids' camps. It's exposure, he'd insist, but voice strained. One night, video feed jittery, he cracked. Homesick as hell. Missed the court's echo. Ryder, sketching by lamplight, paused. Come back. We need you. Jax's laugh bitter. Need the fighter, not the flake. My KC buzz built steady. Demo sessions in a cramped studio off Troost. Producers nods to my hooks. Ryder's guest vocals sealing tracks. Y'all got magic, the sound guy drawled. Mixing boards aglow. But distance gnawed. Ryder's weekends home sporadic. Denver's pull magnetic. Fights flickered, him late to calls, me snapping at silences. You're drifting, I'd accuse. So are you starstruck, he'd retort. Pivots faltered. Leans turning stumbles. Spring equinox brought the storm. Jax announced return. LA's a grind. Back for summer, maybe coach varsity here. Elation spiked, but under it worry. For Theo left in the lurch? Jax downplayed. Mutual. Long distance test. But texts from Theo painted different. He bailed, man. Said family first. Betrayal's old knife twisted. Jax. Running again? Ryder exploded when I shared. Packing for a Denver critique. Bag half-zipped. Pattern. Hides when hot. Flees when hard. I blocked his path, doorframe anchor. He's hurting. Like us. But Ryder shoved past, eyes flashing. Us? You're blind to it, defending ghosts. Door slam. Tires squealing. Leaving me an echo. I drove to the gym, solitary ritual. Dribbling till palms blistered, shots swishing prayers. Jax arrived unannounced. Fresh from the airport. Beard scruffy. Eyes road-weary. Heard the blow-up. We ran ones. Bodies colliding honest. Sweat confessions. Theo's right, I run. From pain. From truth. He drove baseline hard. Layup rattling rim. LA showed me. Can't outrun heart. We collapsed bleachers. Breaths ragged. Ryder's fire's what I need. I admitted. Pushes me gold. Jax nodded. Then chase it. No half-court shots. His hand on my shoulder, steady. And me? I'll stay. Build here. No more vaults. Reunion brewed deliberate. Ryder returned midweek, mural complete. A court exploding rainbows. Unveiled at the center to cheers and a councilman's awkward clap. I waited curbside. Guitar in tow, Jax beside. Talk. Ryder's nod wary, but softening at Jax's hug. Missed you, idiot. We mended at the creek. Picnic spread. Mom's fried chicken. Beers chilled. Apologies flowed easy. Jax owning his flight. Ryder his barbs. Me my blindness. Team again. Jax toasted. Cans clinking. Laughter returned. Tentative then torrent. Tales of LA flops, Denver dives, my studio flubs. Climax crested Memorial Day tourney, varsity tryouts, Jax interim coach. Kids hungry. Ryder and I manned concessions. His sketches auctioned for uniforms. My set post-finals drawing scouts anew. Game 3, finals tight. Down 2, 10 ticks, ball to the point guard, a wiry freshman Jax mentored. Defender swarms. Kid pivots, lean, explode, swish. Buzzer glory. Crowd surging. Jax hoisted on shoulders. Us cheering hoarse. Post-win bonfire. Sparks ascending like freed wishes, emotions crested. Ryder pulled me aside, firelight dancing his face. Denver's done. Staying, for the label collab, for us. Heart soared, but question hung. Sure. He kissed forehead soft. Pivoted. You're my explosion. Jax found us later. Theo's call on speaker. Amicable split. Friends still. Growth, Jax said, voice light. Betrayal's last thread snapped. Forgiveness not forced, but earned in the lean. Summer deepened bonds. Jax landing permanent gig, varsity helm. Ryder and I cutting tracks. Tour booked fall. Midwest dives to coasts. Mom's diner became war room. Menus scribbled set lists, her pride beaming. My pivots, she'd quip, refills free. Fall leaves turned. Tour van rumbling Route 35. Jax shotgun navigating. Ryder harmonica whistling backups. Gigs blurred magic. Crowds chanting pivot heart. Encores electric. One night in Omaha. Post set high. Jax confessed stage whisper. This is the pro life. With y'all. Winter circled back gentle. No banshees. Just hearth glow. Holidays home. Tree laden heavier with ornaments. A tiny basketball etched. Technique. Ryder's sketch framed proud. We three on the roof again. Stars pricking velvet. Beers frosted. To secrets showed. Jax echoed old toast. And lives lived loud. Ryder added. Me. To heart's game. No tidy bows. Life's no script. Conflicts recur like rematches. But humanism roots deep. In the lean through loss, explosion of grace. Betrayal? Teacher stern. But love the coach. Dramatic. Thrilling. Eternally romantic. We played on. Brothers in blood and choice. Courts infinite. Eli's epilogue. Years spin. Jax's championship ring stack. Family with a partner steady. Ryder's galleries hum. Our album gold certified. Me? Sold out stages, songs of us. But the gym calls still, echoes of that first pivot. Secret shared. Feel it, trust it, win it.